Welcome to Cabin Lake Baits. Today we're going to tie up this pretty easy white pike fly. Got some flash blue, rabbit fur, and we got some deer belly hair up front. And what really makes this fly special is the epoxy head. This makes it dive, get down there, dance around. Looks pretty good, especially on some sinking line. Go ahead and start tying it. The hook we're using today is the Ahrex SA210. It's actually the new Bob Clouser hook. Seems like a pretty nice stout, solid hook. Let's start with that thread base. And I went ahead and already put a piece of mono through this rabbit fur. What that does is keeps it from wrapping around. All I did was take a bodkin and put a hole through that and slide a piece of 40-pound mono through. Pretty easy. There's lots of videos out there of actually demonstrating how to do that, but pretty straightforward. I'll lash that down. The rabbit strip, lash that down, and take that piece of mono, lash that down, nip that off real quick. And it don't matter what that tail does, it's not going to kick around and foul around that bend of the hook, but it still will have plenty of action back there. Don't want to kill that. Next we're going to come in with some Flashaboo silver. I like my Flashaboo, so I do not skimp out on it. Tease out those ends. Take it about 50-50. Go ahead and drape that around there so you get some coverage around the hook. Over here, get some on the bottom, get some on the top. This will 360 coverage. The super glue. Super glue is your friend tying pike flies. Difference between a fly lasting a couple pike and 10, 15, 20 pike. This is just white belly hair. Took a sizable clump here. We're not spinning it, we're just laying it on there. Nothing fancy with this deer hair work at all. Before I forget, I am going to add some, this is 025 lead-free wire. Go ahead and put a few wraps on there. Will help that fly get down there just a little bit more. Like I said, we're not stacking this stuff, so don't want to be super tight. We're still making pretty good clumps though. Going with that super glue. Like 2 more clumps will do it. Again, nothing pretty. Doesn't have to be when you're fishing for pike. One more clump. This is nothing fancy for deer work at all. The looser, the better. We're not making a floating deer hair bug. And I don't even worry about trimming my ends because I'm just going to trim it all at the end. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and trim this real quick. And to trim this, you could use a razor blade, but I'm just going to use the scissors here. I start from the bottom. Cut that pretty close down to the bottom. We expose that hook gap. The rest of the fly, you just there, you get the idea. Alright, finished up that trimming. Like I said, not super clean, doesn't have to be. Next we're going to go on with some stick-on eyes. Put that on there. I like to put them up close to that hook eye. This side. And I got some 5-minute epoxy whipped up. Other things that would work really well on this is UV epoxy. I like the 5-minute epoxy. You can't cure it right away, but I find it a little bit more durable than UV epoxy. I've really had good luck with UV lasting that long. This 5-minute epoxy, on the other hand, lasts. It goes on there like plastic, basically, or ends up being like plastic. The other thing you can use would be something like the silicone. Those make really cool heads. But for this guy, I'm using 5-minute epoxy. You got it in your vise, just make sure you're rotating it. Get a good coverage. And this stuff pushes water, catches water. It just makes this fly dart back and forth. Still keeps a little bit of buoyancy from the deer hair. It's just a perfect mix of pike enticing goodness there. You notice how my thread broke earlier. I wasn't too worried about it because, well, it's covered under a pretty solid layer of epoxy there. I just gotta continue to rotate this so the epoxy doesn't build up too heavily in one spot. There you have it. The no-name deer hair pike bunny, I guess. Thanks for watching.